Hi, Mom and Dad. I'm going to be interviewing you guys for my Individual and Societies project. We are learning about culture and how we influence culture and how culture influences us. We're learning about the 7 elements of culture and how they form a big part of what culture is. And I'm going to be talking about 5 of those different types of elements and how it affects our family. So the first category is arts and literature. The first question is, how has living in China influenced what types of art we like and our opinion in art?
Go ahead.
I guess this looking around our apartment, since moving here, we have purchased a lot of art that is from the countries we visited in Asia, and I have actually taken a class in drawing and in Chinese ink painting since moving here 4 years ago. So our home is full of my beautiful artwork that I would never have done and never learned about if I had not moved to China, and we never would have appreciated. Actually, over our dining room table, we purchased this beautiful silk. What do you even call it? A silk rendering or silk drawing that we purchased in Dali, and we will bring that home to the United States when we move back.
Okay, Dad.
So we have art from the different places we've visited in mostly Southeast Asia.
Okay.
So that's how it's influenced us.
How has Chinese culture influenced our family's interests in reading?
Well, we read a lot more about Chinese history, and we read about history of the different places we visit. For example, we just visited Myanmar, and we read a lot about the history of Myanmar and the culture of Myanmar, so that when we went there, we would have a better understanding of the people and the culture.
Mom?
Exactly. Unfortunately, before going to Myanmar, I did not realize or understand that Myanmar's history was really tied to Burma. It's crazy, I know, but Burma is what was always referred to. And I didn't realize that in 1988 there was an uprising and a struggle, and all that history is something that I just learned about. So I think we bought a book, and now we're reading, and it's become part of our family's history as well as the Burmese history.
Okay, third question is, how has American entertainment and Chinese entertainment affected what our family likes to watch on TV?
I don't think it's really affected us that much. We have typically watched mostly American and European entertainment, and because neither Mom or I really speak Chinese, we can't watch that much Chinese entertainment.
Mom?
True. Because of the VPN issues and things like that, we tend not to watch a lot of TV, and we tend to go to the video store and buy videos. But that being said, Dad has been known to do karaoke 1 or 2 times, and Dad is not a karaoke man, and that is very Chinese.
Do you want us to do karaoke?
Social organizations. This is the next category. First question is, are we a nuclear family or extended family, and how has living in China affected that?
Well, we're a very nuclear family in China because it's only us here. But
4 of us.
the 4 of us.
You
and
can't see
Skippy.
Rowan and Skippy under the table.
But when we go back to the United States, we become an extended family because we're gone for such a large portion of the year. And then we have, for example, my mom and Mom's mom staying with us for the whole summer, which wouldn't have happened if we weren't living in China.
So it's a great, actually, it's made our family better. So we're home 8 weeks in the summertime, and because of those 8 weeks, we really cherish our family, and we cherish our nuclear family, our extended family, being far more, Dad's mother and my grandmother, which is my mother. And so they lived with us for 8 weeks, and they would never have done that until we moved to China. And it's been a great experience for everyone. From me, having my mom with me, and for Nick, having his mother with her, and then for the kids, having their grandparents
Okay,
with
so
them.
the next question is, How has being from the USA influenced our family to become a patriarchal family or a matriarchal family?
There's no in between.
No.
So I grew up in a family, in my
you
family
can
in the
say
1970s, there was a patriarchal family. My mother stayed at home, my father worked, my mother took care of the kids, there was 5 of us, my mother worked. When Dad and I got married, I had a career and Dad had a career. Dad was a lawyer, I was a physician assistant, we both worked in Ithaca. We both had equal jobs, equal footing. But coming to Shanghai, it wasn't, we came here for Dad's work, so therefore Dad's job was precedence. So I actually took over the role of actually more of taking care of the family, which is more of what my mother did. But that being said, is unlike my mom, is not matriarchal, patriarchal. We are equal. We toast the glass here.
Daddy?
Yes, I agree with that. We are
Okay.
equal.
Okay, so the third question is how has our American culture influences what type of marriages we celebrate? Many cultures celebrate arranged marriages. Is that part of our culture?
No, it's not, and living here has not really affected the way we celebrate marriages at all.
I want to make sure you choose the person you love. Of course, that I
The
have
next
to approve.
category is customs and traditions. The first question is, how has living in China influenced the celebrations we celebrate?
Well, we celebrate more things now because we get U.S. holidays and Chinese holidays. We just got back from Myanmar because we were celebrating the Mid-Autumn Festival. And we celebrate tomb sweeping, and so that's expanded the number of holidays that we get to
Chinese New
celebrate.
Year.
Okay, Mom?
Exactly. So the interesting thing is we just went to Myanmar, and so we went to Myanmar because of Autumn Festival here in China. But when we were in Myanmar, we were actually celebrating Lunar Festival that was there, and we didn't realize Lunar Festival was a festival in Myanmar. But they have 10 days off for Lunar Festival, whereas in Shanghai we have 5 days off for Autumn Festival. So it's great to have these opportunities to really get into traditions and to celebrate other cultures.
Okay, so the second question is, how has living in China changed some of the traditional or food that we eat?
We eat a lot more Chinese food living in China, and we've made it part of our regular sort of rotation of dishes that we eat, like the pork that you like, and rice and dumplings.
So of course, we always have Taco Tuesday, but we have introduced Wednesday night is Korean barbecue, and then we have Thursday night is Chinese barbecue pork and the spicy beans, and I have actually taken my spice level up about 4 notches since living here.
How has being from the U.S. affected the way we dress?
Well, I'm still wearing my muumuu, so
I don't think. I mean,
it has not affected our dress.
we wear jeans and probably dress like Americans, but it hasn't affected us.
Except for when we were in Myanmar, we did wear traditional clothing there because that was
Longji.
Longji. But in China and Shanghai, it's a very metropolitan city, so it hasn't really affected us.
The next category is...
Oh, more scarves. If anything, we've definitely adapted more scarves in our lifestyle.
The next category is religion. How has living in China influenced our religion and what we believe?
Well, it's opened up an understanding of other religions like Buddhism and Hinduism, and made us consider what other people believe and appreciate the importance of other people's belief systems in their lives.
Because we grew up as Christians. So growing up as Christians, you have a tendency to be much more closed-minded as far as the Christian faith and having Jesus Christ. But opening your mind to, as Nick said, as Dad said, Hinduism and Buddhism, it does affect how we believe now. much more open-minded and have changed our beliefs in some way.
Okay, so the second question is, how has being from USA and Denmark influenced our religion we follow?
Well, it hasn't influenced the religion I follow, but it's made me understand other religions.
The same way, I think I appreciate other people's beliefs and I try to understand where they're coming from and have a respect for other people. So,
And their beliefs.
Third question is, how does our religion, or if we don't have one, affect our family, and has living in the U.S. and moving to China affected that?
Not really. I think we are able to, because we live in China, to discuss different religions among ourselves, mom and dad, but also with you and with Rowan. So, for example, we just got back from Myanmar and we talked about Buddhism and what Buddhism means. And we wouldn't have had that opportunity necessarily if we were living in the U.S. But living in China, we get to travel to places where people believe different things, and we go there and then we discuss them and then we learn about them.
I'll agree with that.
Okay. So the next category is language. The first question is, how has living in China influenced what languages that we speak at home? If not, what has influenced the languages we speak at home?
Well, Mom's still struggling to learn Chinese, despite the fact that she's taken a lot of lessons. But we are learning.
But has it influenced what languages we speak at home?
No, though, interestingly, we speak more Danish here than we did in the U.S., right? So I read to you guys in Danish, and that's sort of ironic that we moved to China and Danish has become a bigger part of
And you
our...
started reading in Danish because many of our friends are Swedish and Danish. However, I think we have an au pair, not au pair, but we have an Ai that lives in that, and doesn't live with us, but works with us, and so we have to communicate with her in Mandarin. So that has influenced how we, communicate in the house. Because if I can't communicate with her, I ask you guys to help out. So that it does change. I mean, I think it has some impact because we live in a city that, even though Shanghai is extremely metropolitan and allows you to get away with not knowing the language, thank goodness, but we still have to have some basic understanding and also be able to communicate with people on a polite level. So just saying hello and good morning and thank you. So it does influence how we speak every day.
So the second question is, how has living in China influenced what we speak and what we don't speak anymore, or as much?
I don't think it hasn't affected. I think we speak the same amount of English. And I think you speak more Danish.
Yeah, like I said, we speak more Danish.
Okay, so the third question is, has living in China affected how we communicate as a family and to others?
I think that it's made us more aware of how we communicate as a family because we understand that there are a lot of different perspectives, and when people get angry or when they have a certain point of view, we understand that they're looking at things from their perspective, and hopefully that makes us understand them better and give them a chance to explain themselves and be more empathetic to their point of view.
Mom?
So I think I'm going home to the United States, and sometimes people have a tendency to look at China's policies and want to be negative about them. I have a tendency to be a supporter of some things that China does because living here, I realize that the country has done a lot in a short period of time for its people. And so they are working hard to try to move their country into this century and in a short period of time. So I have a tendency to be an advocate of China and what they're trying to accomplish.
Okay, thank you. That was the last of the questions.